We have a quorum here this evening, and Dick Brownell will be sitting in, and full voting privileges or responsibilities and half the pay.
Okay, let me rip this tape off.
Yeah, exactly. So do we have a motion, open meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, so we have a number of items this evening. I think we can move pretty quickly through these. The first is this a continuation of the public hearing or the opening of the public hearing on Schwartz?
Opening.
Opening, okay. Is there a motion to open the public hearing for Schwartz 6 Breckenridge Road? This is an application for a site development approval, application for a stormwater management and erosion and sedimentation control, and a tree permit for removal of an existing half basketball court, expansion of driveway and planting of trees.
Motion?
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Here we are.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Jacqueline Cohen, associate at Zarin & Simons. I'm here tonight on behalf of Paul and Lindsay Schwartz, the owners of 6 Breckenridge. I also have with me tonight Alan Pilch, the project engineer, as well as Steve Coleman, who's been consulting on the tree removal and mitigation. So as you know, we're here tonight for a public hearing on the proposed tree mitigation plan, as well as the proposed site plan for minor driveway expansion. So before we get into the public hearing, Alan will just briefly take you through the plan. Since we were last before you in July, we did make a few changes and we did add some stormwater infrastructure and also put together a stormwater management plan in consultation with town staff. So I will hand over to Alan just to kind of take you through what's changed and also just to give a brief overview of where we are today.
Good evening, Alan Pilch, LP engineer. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hopefully you can. You can all hear me, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to put the plan up? Would that be helpful?
Yes.
Sure. Hopefully I could do that. And I could share a screen. Whoops. Hopefully I can figure out how to do this. Where's the share? Host disabled screen sharing. The host is disabled screen sharing, so I apologize.
There should be a little icon at the bottom that says share.
I did.
Next to raise hand, it says share. Did it share?
It did not.
I
It
see a
said
dog.
host disabled participant screen sharing.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Oh, no, the green. You have to touch the green arrow. Not the arrow to the right, but the green arrow.
Maybe I should ask. Perfect.
Where?
There.
There we go.
Up there it
Hopefully
is.
that's visible now.
I see it. Looks good.
Excellent, thank you. So the project involves the following. Let me just sort of review it. It's the removal of the half basketball court, which straddles the western property line. So that's including the removal of the portion of the court, on the neighbor's property. So that's the first thing that's being proposed. In addition to that, the removal of the existing basketball hoop and backboard, which are actually located on the Alexander property to the west, but it obviously is associated with the current basketball court. The expansion of the existing driveway, I'll see if I could, I don't know if I can get this to expand a little bit. Yeah, that works. The expansion of the existing driveway to make a more usable space. It's actually very tight when you're backing out of the garage here and you run into basically a stone wall, which is actually very close to the garage doors. So it's a very awkward space to use. So it'll make it a more usable space and will actually provide a play space for the Schwartz children. We're also proposing to repave the existing driveway. The current pavement surface is quite deteriorated. And also It includes the planting of a total of 24 overstory trees, 7 understory trees, and 32 shrubs for an equivalency total, if you will, of 35 trees. All but 2 of the trees would be located on on the Schwartz property. 2 would be planted on the Alexander property to the west as mitigation for the tree removal which occurred in the western portion of the property. I'll just say overall, the changes to the property will be a reduction in the amount of impervious surfaces presently on the Schwartz's property by 863 square feet, and on the Alexander property from the removal of the basketball court, which was constructed in part on that property by 338 square feet. The project also does include stormwater management in the form of a I'll call it depressed area, really also like a rain garden, which is proposed in the northwestern portion of the property. The rain garden, there's a catch basin which is proposed in the corner of the parking of the driveway expansion area, and a stormwater drainage pipe which will convey runoff to the depressed area, and it also picks up runoff from the portion of the western portion of the property as well. And the calculations that we presented show that it will actually provide peak rate attenuation of the 1 through 100 year storms, as well as capture and treating the water quality volume. And I'll just say that the work is being done to remedy the violations of the construction of the half basketball court without a permit, as you know, a tree removal without a permit, and not obtaining the stormwater permit for construction of the half basketball court. And that's essentially what is being proposed on the property. Any questions?
Any questions, Amy? Nope. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Steve, did you want to add anything? Did Steve Coleman want to add anything?
No, just that to remind the board that we replaced the entire replacement requirement of 35 trees on site in lieu of doing a tree bank. So the planting plan is really going to provide an extensive amount of species diversity once it gets established, and I think it'll restore very well the the forest canopy that was present previously.
Does that also include underbrush and shrubbery?
We added 32 shrubs, as part of the, in lieu of 8 shrubs per 1 tree. So we used for the tree replacement and did shrubs in place of that to help provide some vertical stratification and create more of an understory layer.
Okay, good, great, thank you. Dennis, do you have any comments on the revisions in the planting plan?
No,
Satisfied?
they didn't credit themselves with, you want to talk about some trifolium, anybody?
Sure, we can. What we're proposing for the ground cover is it's a micro clover, which is a good alternative to lawn grasses, and it's a native. That's debatable. It's probably from Asia, like most plants are originally, but it's been used a lot in the industry, and it's a good alternative to provide, in place of lawn. And it's a nitrogen fixer, so it helps add nutrients back into the soil. And it's very low maintenance and grows very slowly, so that it doesn't really require a tremendous amount of maintenance, but it does act as an important filter, of nutrients from any runoff.
Okay.
Yeah, we had met in August and kind of vetted all this, so once this was submitted, as long as it was consistent with that meeting, which it was, hence why I had no review memo for this application.
Bob, you had some thoughts, comments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I did review Alan Pilch's stormwater report plan. It has been found to be acceptable and meets and exceeds all areas of the Chapter 108 stormwater and DEC requirements. So that did a commendable job on that. However, with me being me, I still have some comments, technical comments. I don't know, you want the short version or the long version, Robert, on my comments?
Probably the executive summary is good.
Yeah, okay. But basically, they're technical comments, you know, of course, but one being they have to get a SWIP for a speedies permit because they do exceed 5,000 square feet of disturbance. There's some minor discrepancies and the disturbances. There's 4 different ones. They should get them all to equal. Then I have some just general comments. One point I want to make, though, is that when they're putting in the trees along the roadway, make certain that when they do place the trees, Dennis, that they leave some room for growth. Because when they put them right up to the sight line, you'll find out the next year or two, they're right into the sight line. So I always like to move them back at least 5 feet, 6 feet from that. So keep that in mind when all those new trees are being put in. That's GC2, and GC3 is basically just notes. And I have no objection to all these items going into the resolution as conditions, which we have inserted into the resolution of conditions already for your review. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Great, great. Sabrina, anything that you want to share? I think you confirm it's all compliant.
It's all compliant at this point, yes,
Okay.
everything is good to go.
Any comments from board members, questions?
No comment.
Yeah. Questions? No, okay. If not, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second?
Aye.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any against? No, motion's carried. Okay, we have a resolution that's been prepared for us. Does anyone have any questions, comments on this? I know we had a revision, a little red line revision on one couple of little minor things. But outside of those, does anyone have any changes, questions, issues on the resolution?
Mr. Chairman, we would just request for the expiration of the approval. I believe it's the third to last paragraph on the final page. We would just ask that if the 6 months could be changed to 9 months for pulling the building permit, just because they're not going to be able to start work until spring. And I believe 6 months brings us to March. So they're asking if we could just get a little bit more time just to pull that permit.
Can we do that, John? No? Sabrina, is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
How much?
Anyone object?
I don't know how much more is needed.
Is 3 months?
Yes.
Okay, it is?
9
9
yes.
months?
And of course, I mean, we would still like to be able to have the opportunity to request an extension if need be.
Yeah,
But
of course.
they do intend to start the work in spring. It's just March is a bit early to start the work, especially the planting.
And we're seeing the need to do this on many applications.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Great. With that amendment, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? All set.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Can't we use the court to pay the driver? Okay.
Okay, our next item is Oliver. Again, it's our first swing in a public hearing here. It's 28 Lavort Road, application for a preliminary subdivision plat approval to merge 2 lots through a re-subdivision. We've asked her on July 16. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Okay.
Good evening
You're
again.
back.
Yes, Jacqueline Cohen, Associates, Aaron and Steinmetz, here tonight on behalf of the property owners for 28 Lavort Road. Since we were last before you in July, so at that July meeting, as you may recall, your board voted to waive jurisdiction over these typical subdivision review requirements. And tonight we're here for a public hearing on that, just to give your board an update as to what happened since the July meeting. As you may recall, the Galvins were in the process of selling their property in July. They did close in August, and the application has been transferred with the assistance of staff to the new owners, Daniel and Jennifer Oliver. Daniel Oliver is here tonight with me. And so From what we understand, we believe we have completed the steps to successfully transfer that application, and that everything is in order. And so at this point, we believe that all town comments have been addressed. We did submit an updated plat that had, where we added the wetland buffer line, for that on-site wetland, and we also submitted confirmation from the town assessor, for the new lot number. And so with that, I mean, we're happy to go through any details of the application, and answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. Congratulations on your purchase. Thank you, great parcel. Anyway, any questions? Do we all want to run through any
I
questions,
just
Richard?
wanna interrupt, there is a participant on the line, Jerry Sotera, I'm not sure which
Oh.
application he is present for. I don't know if Pam, can you bring him in or ask him?
I've allowed him to talk. He can speak if he wishes. Yeah, he's unmuted. Jerry Sotera, do you want to say anything?
Okay,
Okay,
thank you, Pam.
Sure.
Sabrina, I think we went through this last time. I think the impact of the waiving of our jurisdiction is that basically we don't have to go through another final.
Final, correct.
Which is the preliminary part and final, and we're done. But are there any, I don't think there are any issues at all. We
No.
got this last time, and I think everything is compliant.
Everything has been made compliant, everything's worked out, it's just a matter of your board finalizing the resolution.
Okay. Any questions on the application itself? No questions? It's a vigorous public hearing. Okay, not seeing any questions or comments. Is there a motion to close the public hearing? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a resolution that's been prepared. There are just one or two little typos that have been corrected, I think, with the last version that we received. Does anyone have any questions or issues on the resolution? If not, is there a motion then to adopt the resolution as prepared? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All set.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you, good night.
Our next item is a resolution for the Hudson Hills subdivision, Amsterdam Park, 28 Hope Cross Road and 121 Pine Ridge Road. This is an application for a site development plan amendment to the clearing and grading limit lines and the wetlands permit, the Amsterdam Park proposed sanitary sewer service line. So, Bob, I think this is more or less your application.
Yes,
Yeah, and there's, I don't think there are any major changes in this at all, right, since we last saw it.
no, I believe it's the same. It's based on the plans that were presented last time we met.
There's one question I picked up that actually Greg raised last time, and I think Dick raised it as well. And that was, I think,
2-inch line?
yes, you were gonna get confirmation about that 2-inch sewer line, that it was adequate and what the maximum capacity was. To me,
There's
it's
no, yes,
kind of
there's no
scary
doubt.
to bring a 2-inch sewer line.
Yes, the company I'm going through, the hydraulic head and the amount of lift in the system that we're gonna purchase is well above anything we'll ever put into that system based on what we're gonna provide. It's gonna be a pre-engineered system. I don't have the tech specs in front of me, but it's, the hydraulic head on that is like 70, 80 feet. We're only going up about 30 feet. So, and the maximum size pipe for that they use is a 2-inch pipe anyway. And I ran this by the engineer after our meeting, and he said it should have no problem for future improvements if we decide to go through that.
I think what made me first question it was, I was thinking it was a gravity line. 2 inches on a gravity line seems a little suspect, but it's not a gravity
No, this is a
line.
force, this is under
This
pressure.
is force.
Yeah, this is force pressure, so
Yeah.
that's where the 2-inch.
Yeah. If you make the pipe too big under pressure, you have all types of problems with cavitation, and that's the
Right.
last thing you want. So they rather have this pipe actually undersized to increase the pressure, but the pumping system we're using in the hydraulic head is well above it by probably 30, 40, 50 feet. So it's more than,
Big straw versus the little straw.
Yeah, ooh. Now, what people are gonna be using this system?
excuse me?
Yeah, is this a private system? Privately owned, once it's not owned, but privately used? Or is it for the
It's
public?
it's for the recreation department. It's to increase the
Right.
amount of kids that can use the programs during the summer.
Good. I think signage is gonna be necessary, so that, the kids or parents don't throw miscellaneous things down into the system.
Well, that's a good idea. We'll do that. It's a grinder pump. There are 2 grinder pumps. So that does take that into account, but that's good advice. We can put specific signs in the bathrooms to let people be aware of that. Thank you. It's a good idea.
I have it. Did I say the wrong thing?
No, not at all. Only the emphasis on one. Anyway, so we have a resolution before us, and are there any questions, issues on the resolution? Not for me. If not, is there a motion then to adopt the resolution as prepared?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion's carried. All right, you're all set, Bob, happy pumping. We have now the next resolution, this is the Agastia. I'm mispronouncing it, 45 North Way. This is an amendment to the resolution of approval for a lot line change. If you recall, this is the one that had to come back to us because their approval expired, and so it's no changes, but they had to come back. It's with the exchange of land with the town. So basically, I think staff just wrote the resolution just to reincorporate what we did before.
Correct.
So should be an easy one.
Bob, do you have anything to say?
No, we have the plan in hand. I'm contacted Mr. Augusta and his wife to come down and sign it. Then I get to bring it up to the county. Once it's signed by those parties, Robert, I will bring it down to your office. You can sign it. And then I believe we'll give it to the town council and they can bring it on down to the county and file it.
Simple enough.
Sounds good then. So is there a motion to adopt that resolution?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's all set. And the last thing that we have on the agenda is minutes of July 16. I was asking council beforehand, but does anyone know whether or not we've heard anything further from Kolev? Did they ever have a meeting? Did they ever? Interesting.
There were some changes that I got from Mr. Brownell this morning.
Okay, I have a couple.
Everyone's fine with them.
All right. Take care, thank you. I didn't understand the one line, it's line 45, right? Where you said
Hi,
something?
Sabrina.
Bye, Bob.
Which page? Page 5, I'm sorry.
Wait, page 5?
Yeah, line 45. Signage in area. Reading that sentence, quite sure.
What page?
5, line 45.
Yeah, you're right. That left over from just some cold minutes.
I don't know.
I'll go back over.
Was this about the
video.
de-icing?
Yes,
Maybe I made a comment about, because
Signage
they do
in-
have signs in those neighborhoods that say,
Mhm.
maybe that's what I was referring to.
I think that's what it was.
I remember we
Like
talked
low
about,
salt area or something.
I think you and Jeff were questioning the icing issue.
Jeff said it not.
I know, it's like. Developer.
That's right, always blame the developer. Okay, I had one really minor change, I'll just give it to you. Any other changes, material, substantive, or otherwise? If not, is there a motion to adopt the minutes of July 16th?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
That's all set. Bob, do you know, I was gonna ask Sabrina if she could just give us a lowdown on the Indian Brook Croton Gorge watershed. I guess the public hearing is still ongoing with the town board?
I can't speak for Sabrina on that. I'm
I was just
sorry.
wondering whatever happened on that, we did send a memo. I think we got a copy to everyone. so
I
we
think
saw
it still might be for the town board in the town of Newcastle, but I thought the other towns have adopted it, but that, don't quote me on that.
Yeah, no big deal. The last thing I just wanted to say before we close is just as a reminder, for everyone, all members, that we have to complete 4 hours of CE over the course of the year. So, use it wisely. Choose it wisely.
Choose.
There are a lot of them that are.
Is that calendar year or our year signing up year?
You know, I think it's calendar year.
It is calendar year.
Okay.
I haven't quite, it hasn't quite yet been approved, but we got all kind of weirded on these terms. So your term is starting in January, it's ending in January, so I'm
My
suggesting.
term's over already?
No, I'm suggesting that town board amends yours so it ends on December 31, 9 days earlier.
Gotcha.
So no cut and pay.
No cut back.
Same benefits. And we just wanna get them lined up again because it's supposed to be ending, there's supposed to be 5 members and every year there's supposed to be an expiration. So I think so far what I proposed to the supervisor was to get that cleaned up and we would be missing a 12/31/06. So whoever who gets appointed to fill out the last full spot will have a 12/31/06, 26 expiration. So I think, Dick, you're 12/31/04, I'm 25. 26 is blank, Kanani, I think you're 27, Jeff, I think you're 28. You're 29.
So, yeah,
Okay.
that's one.
Just wanna make sure everyone knew what their sentences were. So we'll get that clarified because it's kind of jumbled. What started to happen was people came on board and then the town board started to approve people for 1 year or 5 years in the middle of the year. And all of a sudden we're starting to see people coming up on the same year. That's what the intent was. We'd like to space it out. So we have some continuity. And that's about it.
The Tesla thing that came out, is there anything that we need to do, or is it just an advance? for us?
No, that's just an advanced thing for us. So, they noticed that there was the one change. So again, I don't think it's substantive. I was hoping that we could tackle it tonight so that it would be all set for the ZBA, but we're gonna meet before the ZBA meets next time anyway, so we'll be all set.
Okay.
Minor thing. So it was, a parking count was off by 3 or something like this?
2.
2?
Yeah, so they have to have a variance for 4 spaces instead of 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, I think it's okay, but we'll see. All right, is there a motion to end the meeting?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we're done.